brings you to the lost and found, dear. Won't you pull up a seat? Everybody got a prize round here to play. Make me an offer, what will it be? Oh, what will it be? Welcome to the playground, follow me. Tell me your nightmares and fantasies. Sink into the wasteland underneath. Stay for the night, I'll sell you a dream. Welcome to the playground. 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 Follow me. Tell me your nightmares and fantasies. Sink into the wasteland underneath. Stay for the night, I'll sell you a dream.
Taste what I feel from grace. Wanna taste what I feel from grace. Run away from the face. Let's race if you wanna taste. You wanna mess around? I'm gonna take you down, down, down. Wanna slide and turn? Such a lovely way to burn, burn, burn. I never felt like this before. I think I might just want some more. I never felt like this before. I think I might just slide. Keep it on that if you wanna ride. Throw your head back, make you feel alive. The kind of bad that make you feel good, good, good. The kind of wrong that make you feel right. The little bad that make you feel alive. The kind of feeling that maybe you should, good, good. Dirty little animals. It makes your blood run hot. It makes your spit taste sweet. It makes you feel more alive than you have ever been. Why would you die up there when you can live underneath? Dirty little animals. Beautiful cannibals. Slide, keep it on that if you wanna ride. Throw your head back, make you feel alive. The kind of bad that make you feel good, good, good. The kind of wrong that make you feel right. The little bad that make you feel alive. The kind of feeling that maybe you should, good, good. Dirty little animals. The kind of bad that make you feel good, good, good. The kind of feeling that maybe you should, good, good. Never came, never same, give it local up. But when you go under, you will never go back up. Never came, never same, never going up. Cause when you go under, you will never go back up, up. Never came, never same, never make you feel alive. The kind of feeling that only you should. Shake your bones and if you want right. Throw your head back, make you feel alive. The kind of love that make you feel good. The kind of love that make you feel alive. A little love that make you feel alive. The kind of feeling that only you should.
I don't know if I should go much deeper. I feel like
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very special night here at Legends. My camera would focus there. But my name is Gurf, and you're joining us for our final stream of this fall 2021 split. We're here tonight to celebrate some of our top tier talent that we got to see. Again, it was a lot of talent across the board, but I cannot do it by myself. Joining me to my right, your guys' left, you're right, everybody's right. None other than the people's champion, B Potts. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing very well. Looking forward to co-hosting with you on this awards ceremony. I've never really done anything for any leagues outside of casting, so doing something that isn't calling the games is going to be a bit different, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, nice little night just to kind of wrap things up, get to see who's actually gotten those MVP and All-Star awards as well. Take a look at who actually won these leagues. But just going over in the order, I don't know if you saw in the Discord post I made earlier, we are going to be going through in the order of that the leagues finished off in. So tonight it's starting with LAS Valorant and ending with LAS Draft. So if you saw which way it came through, again in the scroll text coming through, we'll go through in the order Joe leagues finished. But we're just about ready to start, and we've got a few names ready to show off here. So like I said, LAS Valorant, if you are one of those players, we're going to be showing off some of those names coming up. And again, one of our smaller leagues, but definitely a nice step for some of these players. And again, some players who have been around for quite some time, to see those names continuing to come back, that's really good stuff. But why don't we go ahead and get into this one, B-Pots, and see what names are coming up here. Well, let's start it off. LAS Valorant, our MVPs for this fall 2021 split. The season MVP, oh wait, I'll go from left to right, that makes sense to me. Our finals MVP, Basic Jojo, coming in as our playoffs MVP. It's going to be Legit Sack, and as our season MVP, none other than Malicious. So some big names for sure. Love to see that Jojo. You know what, while Uwu Gang didn't win the finals, they did a great job and definitely stepped up for the team. But those Start Gaming members, you see Legit Stack coming in pretty huge throughout the playoffs, and of course Malicious just dominating those stats categories and pretty crazy out there on the Valorant field.
yeah, for sure. I mean, Start Gaming were the front runners to win the league ever since pretty much the start, and so seeing two of the three spots being occupied by members of Start is a surprise. As you said, Legit Stack and Malicious were playing out of their minds over the course of this season, and as you said, yeah, it's good to see Basic Jojo get some recognition, even though they didn't come out with the win in the final.
But we got a few more names, B-Pots here, and that's our All-Stars as well too. So this is essentially our All-Stars awards here is for a team we think that would just be ridiculous if we got to pick all the best players across the league here. And sometimes it's tough. I'll tell you that now, guys. It's tough making these decisions, but this is what we have for our LAS Valorant All-Stars coming up. So why don't we bring those names up on stream right now? B-Pots, do you want to do the honors and read these names out for us?
Yeah, I'm on a little bit of a delay, but Malicious, Legit Sack, and Basic Jojo were three of the names we saw on our other MVP sheet, and there's no surprise there. And then being joined from Orion Esports is Nova and the Jesus as well.
Yeah, we got, again, those MVPs still ending up. There's a reason why they're on MVPs and All-Star, because, yeah, those three players are very, very good and perform very well this year in LAS Valorant. But, yeah, a couple members from Orion Esports as well, too. Nova and Ginger Jesus definitely showed up throughout the regular split. They had a couple good moments in playoffs as well, too. But when I remember seeing Orion on stream, those were definitely the two names that stood out to me. But, yeah, if you were to bump into that in your games, yeah, that would definitely be a power team there. So that is our LAS Valorant All-Stars. But one final thing, one little recognition here for our actual overall winners for the LAS Valorant. It actually ended up being none other their first debut split here in LAS Valorant. Let's bring that graphic up here. Start Gaming walking away with the championship at the end of all of it. It was a little bit of a shorter split, but still, they performed well. They came through. They took down some big teams in playoffs, and yeah, definitely made it a hard time for the rest of the teams. But
Yeah.
that's why they're here. That's why their names are going up in the Hall of Champions later on tonight. So that is Acela, Legit Sack, Raccoon, Malicious, and Paradox 14. Congratulations to all those winners and our champions as well too.
I will say, I will say, quite a successful first year for Start Gaming, new to Legends, and they got a team that won LAS Valorant, and in LAS Pre-Made they had a team that made playoffs as well. So a pretty good inaugural split for them.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping we see Start Gaming coming back, because you know it's nice having those storylines, knowing that we have a new defending champion coming in for LAS Valorant. I believe they dethroned. It was PvE that they took down. They've been sitting there as champs for a while. No, it was actually Phoenix Gaming who were the previous champs. But either way,
that's right.
it's a new set of champions, a new storyline, and we'll see. I'm hoping they come back, because I would love to see them defend that championship that they've claimed for themselves. But I don't know about you. If you've seen any of those Valorant streams, they've been
quite spicy.
pretty spicy. But we are moving along relatively fast here, so I will ping our first guest of the night. I know they're probably in here watching somewhere, but we'll see if we can get them in here.
Come on, let's get him in.
Not a question mark there. I'll send it off. But we are going to be bringing a guest on to the show just very shortly, and we are going to be moving on to our next league, which finished second. Definitely one of our bigger, I believe it was our second largest league overall, and that is none other than LAS Pre-Made. So joining us here to do the announcing for LAS Pre-Made is none other, transition, than Beanie. How you doing tonight, Beanie?
I'm good.
Well, we got some names. To announce. It was a big LAS Pre-Made split. What were both of you guys' thoughts about how this overall split went, considering we had 20 teams? 18 teams? Up
18.
in there. A lot of
There was a
teams.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was this the most you guys ever got? I think in any given league, right?
I think LRS Pre-Made does just beat it by a few teams
right.
this split. I believe they had 24, but it was the biggest split for LAS Pre-Made this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the biggest split, and I think it was the most competitive as well, just in terms of the fact that we had 3 groups. And I think that even though the overall skill level of the groups may have been different, it was good to see like 3 different playoff scenarios and stories come out from each of the 3 groups, and then sort of like a group battle to see which group could come out on top in playoffs. And it was Group B that NSG Infinity was in, which was, in my opinion, the hardest group of the 3, and they were able to come out of that first place and come out and win the league as well.
Yeah, I think Group B was, by far the strongest group, and I mean, all those teams, I really believe that they all could have won the league. But I mean, a lot of things can happen in playoffs, right? Best of fives really bring out, what's good and what isn't good in a team, and they're really interesting. But yeah,
Go
which
ahead, Beanie. Okay, keep going.
which players are we doing first?
We are going to be doing the MVPs first. But no, I love your guys' points about that too, because there was lots of great competition this split coming in. And also playoffs. We got to see some great stuff in playoffs, which was obviously the emergence of Lit Club Esports. It was their first time in LAS Pre-Made. They had a great run there, making it all the way to semifinals. The Chimeras as well too. They snuck into playoffs this past summer, but this time they got all the way to semifinals as well too.
Yeah.
So we're seeing improvements as well too from
Yeah.
these existing teams that have been around for a while too. But
Also, Rodham had a really, really good bounce back.
yes.
Last split they didn't do too hot. They, I think, bottomed their group.
No, we didn't bottom our group. We actually lost to Chimeras, and it was them.
No,
against
last
us
season.
Yeah, last season.
Yeah, didn't you bottom your group and not make
No.
playoffs?
No, we were 1 win away from making playoffs, and we lost.
Yeah,
to the
so-
Chimeras, and they took.
Yeah, you didn't make playoffs.
not bottom of group.
We
though.
didn't
Okay,
bottom our
okay,
group,
okay, but I would like to think that finals is a bit of an upgrade.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Not too big, but just
Yeah.
pretty moderate.
Pretty good. I would say it's pretty good for these teams to be showing up and and making those jumps and leaps. But if we're ready, Beanie,
Yeah,
why don't you do the
of course.
honors? Because we're about to bring up the MVPs, and I know these guys have been waiting. I know everybody's been waiting, but
Yeah.
LAS pre-made players are gonna get it first. So without any further ado, let's show this. Beanies, take her away.
All right, so the finals MVP was, how do you pronounce that name?
Tychorus?
Tychorus Endozic?
Yes.
I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, NSG Infinity, I mean, they just very, very good team. And then Shock was the playoffs MVP for all of playoffs, and then Wob Jake for the season MVP. I think that all of these awards are extremely well deserved. I mean, NSG Infinity just throughout the entire season, not a single weak performance. I think they were never really off their game. No teams really stood like a really, really good of a chance. I think they were pretty dominant throughout the entire season. And then obviously the season MVP, he's been around for a while. Wob Jake, amazing player, really, really good mechanically. I've had the pleasure of him playing for me and playing with him, playing against him. I really got to, experience what it's like to play against such a strong mechanical player.
How about you,
Yeah.
B-Pots? You've known a few of these players. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the playoffs and the finals MVP. I mean, as Beanie said, NSG had such a dominant run in the playoffs, and I think Wob Jake is deserving as well. I feel there were some unfortunate circumstances that led up to Wob losing their playoff series, but I think that they could have certainly made a deeper run if those circumstances didn't happen. But I think see Jake get the recognition of being the main contributor to Wob's successful split, because I think they came second in their group, only one loss behind NSG. I think they had the same record actually as well, but yeah, it was unfortunate that they had to get out of playoffs in the very first round, but yeah, I think well deserved.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, obviously I was a part of the roster that eliminated him, and I think that it's really unfortunate that, his one of his core team members actually left the league, and my team had went through like a complete roster kind of dismantling, and we like pretty much upgraded all throughout the board. It was really unfortunate for them, but I feel like they could have definitely made a case for winning the league if not for their circumstance. For sure.
Don't get me wrong. I'm all on board for the winter booze train, but yeah, that is a cohesive squad there, and definitely performed well during the regular season. But those other two names, Shock, showing up huge as one of those main initiators for NSG Infinity, as like having a support like that on the team is absolutely fantastic. And knowing that I've said this before on stream before, having two extremely good buns to the team sandwich, that is what we're seeing on stream right now. Shock there in the bot lane as support, and of course Tychorus was an absolute beast in finals. Watching those top lane matchups through playoffs for Tychorus, he made it look so easy for himself. But again, that's the skill coming through from this player, and that's why they've got that title of finals MVP.
I believe as well, a lot, if I heard correctly, a lot of NSG Infinity is going to be moving up and playing in LRS.
Ooh.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to fare there as well.
Hey, if they perform like they did this split, I'm going to give them some good odds here. No? We've seen a few players.
Yeah,
I'm sure we're going to see a few throughout the night too of people that have moved up from the LAS to the LRS over the years, and that's really exciting to see that overall improvement here. But yeah, having that base skill that they just exploded out of the gates with this split, it was chef's kiss.
But yeah,
ready for All Stars a win? You are, Beanie.
of course. So for the found it. For the All Stars in the top lane from NSG Pearl, we have Zarastel. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it right. For the jungler, we have from Lit Club Esports, ADHD Graphics. For mid lane, from NSG Infinity, the champion Karma Divine, the captain of that team. For AD carry, we have Win or Boost Jake. And for support, from Return of the Middle Sticks, Pain and Panic, Matsuro5.
Big
Um,
names up there. Some
yeah.
big performers for sure. But first thoughts at glance, B-Pots.
Yeah, I mean, I think every position, this is just the best player. You know, we were touching on Wob Jake and how he, I don't want to say was the sole contributor, but he was a big part in Wob's successes in the regular season. And I mean, Karma Divine, ADHD Graphics are all big names that have helped contribute to the success of their team. And Matsuro 5, kind of a dark horse in the support position, but I've had the pleasure of playing with him for 2 splits before this season started, and I can tell you he is an MVP caliber support, and I'm glad to see he's on this list as well.
I
What about Oh, sorry.
I,
What
I
about
really
the?
like seeing, yeah. Here, I'll go quick. I just got a quick one there,
Okay,
Beanie.
okay.
I like
Okay,
seeing
go ahead.
Karma Divine on there. I really, really do, because I remember their first split. I believe it was this past summer with NSG Infinity 2. I'm like, okay, yeah, pretty good mid laner. Still, I would say a middle of the pack player, but something happened between the summer split and this fall split, because Karma Divine has stepped up into quite a robust mid laner and can really hold his own now against some really tough matchups. And I think he made a name for himself going forward from this split, to know that, okay, he's one of those main threats to be looking out for in the mid lane. So I'm really happy to say that name out there. But go ahead, Beanie, your thoughts.
Okay. So I actually have a thing for Karma Divine. I have not personally laned against him as a mid laner, or even played against him at all, but I've seen him play and I've seen what he can do on these like really good mages like Anivia, Sindra I think is one, Oriana I think he plays. But now we're entering kind of like a new meta, you know, preseason, everything's changing. But one thing I've noticed is that the mages are getting really, really good. And if mages are meta and he's going into LRS Remid, I think this is like kind of a perfect storm for him, in which that he can really thrive in this new environment. And B-Pots, do you have anything to say about the NSG Pro top laner? I know you played a really, really close 3-game series against him.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah. It was a close 2 games we played against NSG Pro, but Zeratzel was certainly one of the big contributors to the success in our series, and one of the big contributors to NSG Pro's successes in the split overall. I believe they lost semifinals, either semifinals or quarterfinals, but yeah, I think coming out of Group C, I know people like to think that Group C is like the weakest of the 3 groups, but I think that Zeratzel is getting more than the respect he deserves by being on this list.
And that's a great little segue to the next point I had too, because it was actually NSG Pro that lost against Lit Club Esports in their quarterfinals, and we see that name up there too. HD Graphics. It was a dominating jungler there. You ask him for objective, he tells you where and when, and you're gonna get it. So having again that level of objective control for your team, because especially now, like you mentioned, Beanie, with the preseason coming out, we've got 2 new Drakes in the mix. Having a player that is on top of these objectives, is there every moment, setting up and able to secure them. That's the final point. You can do all the setup, but it's about actually securing them. So having someone who has that reflex and has those smites down pat, that's what makes a really good jungler here. So there are our LAS pre-made all-stars for this split.
Can I just put in a side note real quick?
Yes.
ADHD Graphics also wins the most valuable copy pasta award.
I agree.
Well, if we're ready, fellas, why don't we go ahead and just recognize our overall champs, the ones who took it home at the end of the split here. I'm going to flip it on over and we'll bring up our champions. So, as all of you know, you got to see it on stream. You got to see it firsthand. It was NSG Infinity that walked away with it. But Beanie, why don't you tell us about some of these players?
Tykerus and Nozick, the MVP top laner. Again, just incredible. Wait, was he? No, he wasn't. He was the finals MVP.
Yes.
I got that wrong. It was his brother from another team. I got it, but picked really good skin. I like that one. But great player. This whole team is really great. I like how they all work together. They have really strong teamwork and synergy. It's almost reminiscent of like Mad Lions, I want to say, because none of these names are like superstar, names, but if you see them all together, you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be really hell to play against.
Yeah,
But
that's for sure. Like Tykerus, a beast up in the top lane. Jungle Twitch. We saw him a lot on his Zac, but I really liked that in playoffs. He didn't stick to that. He switched it up. He got more champions in the rotation there. So really messed with some of the teams in terms of planning, because it's just like, wait, we planned for his Zac. Now what's he going to bring out? You don't know. So
yeah,
really playing the mind games there. Of course, we were talking about Karma Divine earlier, but that bot lane, fellas, I don't know if you saw what they were able to pull off together, but they were scary.
Yeah, I think one of the best bot lanes in the league by far, and just as a team overall, they were able to weather the storm that was Group B and come out on top of it. And I know a lot of people were saying, whoever wins Group B is gonna be front runners to going in and winning the split, and it's good to see that they didn't choke. They won Group B, and then they had a really solid playoff run thanks to their bot lane that was able to secure them the championship.
Really strong team here, and congratulations to NSG Infinity on being our fall 2021 LAS pre-made champions. They've got it locked down now. Their names are forever going to be hanging in that hall now, fellas. So, of course, got to recognize some subs coming into Omni-Man, Jaster, and Frosty is Chaos. That's a fun little thing about some of these pre-made teams, that you get a few rotations coming throughout the regular split, and makes things quite spicy. But yeah, our main roster up there, and then of course our subs included all the members of NSG Infinity. Well played. GG's, guys. You did it. You earned it, and now you will be recognized forever. But yeah, another league down. Only 5 more to go. 5 more. That's a lot of leagues, though, boys.
yeah, it's a lot of players.
Just a few. But yeah. Any other thoughts going into this next winter split for LAS pre-made? Who you're hoping to see come on back?
I will say there is a sort of a super team being made right now. It could star 2 of your boys, Beanie and B-Pots, on it. But no, other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of the teams that come back. I mean, I feel that NSG is going to have 1 or 2 teams in the league again. I know To The Moon is going to be fielding either 1 or 2 rosters. I'm not sure what other organizations are going to be fielding teams, but yeah, I think the level of competition is only going to go up from.
You know what? I want to see Lit Club come back, because a lot of this league, whether we want to admit it or not, is like in the banter chat. It's these players interacting and just kind of like, I guess, arguing with each other, but it's fun. It's all fun.
It's a part of the game. You can't have League of Legends without the banter.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
kind of goes hand in hand. But no, it's fun. It's fun getting the storylines. It's fun getting the spicy banter chat too. And no, it makes for a great time. So I'm really happy how big the LAS Pre-Made League is getting. I hope we get even more competition next split, because that just gives us bigger groups and more diversity and more talent that comes on in. Because yeah, we would have never known emerging teams like we saw with our past league with Start Gaming. They were in this league as well too, but I'd love to see them come back as well in some capacity, as well as teams like Lit Club, who first time ever in LAS Pre-Made, they made a run all the way to semis, which is awesome. But lovely stuff, lovely teams, and lovely players. We thank you all who joined us for LAS Pre-Made, but we got more leagues. Like I said. So why don't we hop into our next one, which is going to be LRS Pre-Made. See, it gets a little confusing sometimes, but we'll keep you on track for the most part here. LRS Pre-Made, our Thursday night leagues. Biggest league of all of them. 24 teams here. So this was definitely tough trying to make some of these decisions here, because there was a lot of great talent, but I think there was a few that just stood out above the rest. And yeah, some of these players in LRS, I wouldn't doubt if we saw them potentially making jump to LTS, especially the names we're seeing come up here. But we can talk more about that as the night goes on. Why don't we bring up our MVPs first? Beanie, if you're ready.
I personally had the pleasure of playing in this league. Really fun. I got to play with a great team. We were all pretty good friends, but stuff happens, and we went out round one, but we had fun. Anyways, on to the important stuff. The finals MVP, Vision of Empire from Imperial Knights Blue. I mean, that team was...
Ooh, that team was something.
Imperial Knights Blue was... I mean, I think they were kind of overlooked because, as anyone who has ever looked in the server knows, that all of Dorado really likes to talk.
They do.
But one of the teams that they respected was Imperial Knights Blue, and they said maybe they could give us a run for our money, and then they got 3-0'd in semis. So.
And that was they had a crazy run all throughout, but yeah, Vision was absolutely insane. I believe up in the top lane is where Vision kind of took his own domain, similar to what we were talking about with Tykerus, just a dominating personality up there. Makes junglers scarce to go even try and gank that lane. That is what you want as a top laner, but clearly shown up huge for finals, because that was a full 5-game series that I went to with Oasis Esports, and that's where the pressure starts to build up in being able to keep your cool and keep that skill still coming out. That's why we're seeing Vision up there. But continue away for us, Beanie.
And then for the playoffs MVP, we have Sergeant Hades from Oasis Cloud Esports, the other finalist. Mm-hmm. And I mean,
Zoiban question mark.
Admittedly, they didn't have the greatest regular season, right? Dropping games, actually, wait, no, they had a great regular season. What am I saying? They dropped a series to Dorado, which in regular season they were most dominant. But I mean, Sergeant Hades is like the mid laner to look out for in the plat leagues, right? Like whenever you see his name on the enemy team, it's painful, because you got to drop that Zoiban. You got to give your mid laner the counter, or else he's just gonna not have fun at all.
And I think we saw this split the first time his Zoe did get to make an appearance, because I think back in summer it was pretty much 100% permaban, with the exception of the pre-draft games there. So we got no Zoe last split, and then we got to see it come out, and what happens when Sergeant Hades is able to play. Of course, he's got lots of other champions, but that specialty, when he's able to bring that out, oh my god. The micro that he has to navigate that champion around the map is insane. So love to see that coming out, and definitely a huge player there. But then our final season MVP, once again, Vision of Empire. Big names.
I mean, yeah, like top laners are some of the I commend top laners. Okay, I will never play that role, but I have insane respect, because there is so much pressure on top laners. Their champions are insanely good, and if you have the right top laner, you can put them on a carry champion, and you can say, okay, you go crazy and you're going to carry us to this win. And that's exactly what he did. 90% of games was just show up, carry, and obviously his team is really good too, but it's just frightening.
Well, if we're ready, we can move on to the All-Stars next. So again, our ideal team here, from top all the way down to support. We've got 5 members here that we're gonna bring up, and yeah, again, this would be just a ridiculous team to run into. Imagine we can only imagine what they'd be like together. But why don't I go ahead and bring that up, Beanie? Let's do it.
All right. So for top laners, we have Vision of Empire from Imperial Knights Blue. We just finished talking about him and what he can do. From Oasis Cloud in the jungle, we have Zhao PP88, who previously made an appearance in draft last season. I'm not sure if he played in pre-made last season, but I know he played in draft. He played in draft again, and now he's a finalist in both leagues. No, he was. Wait, was he?
Zhao? I
What team was he on in
I
draft?
believe we might see that name come up later tonight in draft.
Yeah,
It might
okay.
have been the Outlaws, but we'll get a reminder. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure I'm
yeah.
wrong, but
And then
we'll have a reminder soon. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
mid laner, I mean, Sergeant Hades is just the monster.
He's a
And
beast.
from Oasis Cloud Esports for ADC, Imperial Knights Blue, Haru, another very good player. And from support, Dorado Gaming Gamma Hooked on Flays.
There we go. Our LRS pre-made Fall 21 All-Stars. So, got to see a couple other mix. Yeah, again, those two finalist teams definitely had some big players on there, which is why we saw them in finals. But yeah, nice to see Hooked on Flays coming in here too. Love the name. Definitely one of the ones that stood out to me when we were designing those player cards all the way back at the beginning of the season. But yeah, this would be an absolutely disgusting team to run into. Some of the best, but again, it was a tough choice because there's a lot of good players in LRS pre-made. There was 24 teams, so that's quick math there. That's almost 125 players, 120 players in this league to choose from, and that's not even including substitutes. So they were definitely put on a show for us here, and we'll give them the recognition they deserve tonight as our All-Stars. But why don't we go ahead and finish things off here for the LAS Pre-Made League with our Champs logo, which will be going up in the Hall of Champions later tonight.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that.
All good.
The LRS pre-made champions. I mean, Imperial Knights Blue, complete domination in playoffs. Not the world's strongest run in regular season, but I mean, like I said at the start of the pre-made for LAS, playoffs brings out the best and the worst in every team. But Imperial Knights Blue top laner, Vision of Empire, jungler Cypher Soul, mid laner Siri Sai, ADC Haru, and their support Saber is Waifu.
We also have subs Clutch Tilt and Coach Dorwe joining us on the board there. So that's a little shout out to all the coaches out there really tonight. But for this graphic, we got Dorwe who helped lead that championship team. It's just, honestly, it's so impressive. Again, it's another one of these teams making their debut split in Legends and winning the entire thing, which is sweet to see. You know, you go back and you look at it was week 1 the last time that the Imperial Knights Blue saw Oasis Cloud. And it was Oasis that actually won that day. It was a 2-0 game. So seeing them meet again in finals, the finals going all the way to game 5 there, it was just so close.
One of the
Imperial
one of the
Knights.
most exciting one of the most exciting series to watch by far. Really, like,
I feel like playoffs this split, we had a lot more games go the full 5, which made it really hype. A lot more silver scrapes coming through on air, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
It always makes for a hype final when you know you have two absolute dominant teams going against each other, and it really comes down to who is on their game that day. And that day it was Imperial Knights Blue. They performed, they showed up, and their names are going in the Hall of Champions for eternity, or as long as Discord exists. We'll find out. We'll find out which comes first. But that will do it for our LRS pre-made league, our League of Legends league. Moving on next, because this is where things start to get a little funky in terms of scheduling. A few of the leagues started to end back to back, or some were back to back, some were kind of in different weeks. So the league that ended after LRS pre-made was actually LRS draft. So same level of players. We might see actually a couple overlap of names here, because we do get the case where some players do participate in both leagues. So I'm gonna get those ready to go. But again, another one of our smaller leagues. But there were some big moves that happened this split in LRS draft, guys.
Were there any trades in LRS draft?
I don't know if there were any trades, but it was more
I
to
don't
me
think-
what teams ended up in playoffs that stood out to me.
Yeah, the teams were really, I actually really liked all the teams in draft for LRS anyways. I think they were all really strong.
Well, I do have the MVPs ready to go. Just one click away from that.
All right.
So if
Yeah.
stream is ready, if you guys are ready,
Always.
LRS draft is coming up next. We're going to start with the MVP. So let's check out who got those awards right now.
All right, the rookie of the split. We all know him. Mako from the Outlaws. Their captain and their mid laner.
Yeehaw is all I can say to that one, fellas. Mako, he was my captain for the Outlaws last split in LAS draft, taking that step up into the LRS draft this time and making his mark already on there. So I love seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, Mako is. I don't know. That man, I think he has a lot of potential and he really just displays a lot of promise as a League of Legends player. But really well deserving of Rookie of the Split. I mean, showed up, dominated for the most part. Obviously, losing to the champions is nothing to be like, oh, he's not that good, you know. But yeah, moving on to most improved, Dallas, also from the Outlaws.
Yeah, they're Outlaws, yeehaw, but
Making his return to top lane.
nice to see Dallas having a good split this fall too. Again, that's some of you may know it out here as the husband diff, but definitely some great synergy between Mako and Dallas too. So both of them having a fantastic split, but Dallas definitely growing as a player, being even more of a threat as the Dallas diff out there. I've I think I made this joke to him or Mako at some point too, where back when the Dallas diff memes started becoming a theme, it was about 50-50 of which way it could go. I would say that is shifted to about 70-30 at this point here. So more good we see from Dallas here, and definitely taking those steps up as a scary player. But nothing but love for our boy Dallas here as the most improved for this split.
And we've seen him not even 5 minutes ago, but the season MVP,
He's
Sergeant
back.
Hades, is back. The captain and the mid laner of the Wizards. I mean, just dominating wherever he goes. This guy needs to be stopped.
He is unleashed himself this split, I believe, but season MVP for, I believe it was that other finalist team, the Wizards here, because as we look forward just a little bit, those two final names here, a logo I never think I'd see. But it is made the absolute largest of 180s. Two Guardians members coming in as the playoffs MVPs.
Truly breaking the curse once and for all of the 0-32 legend to the champions of LRS draft, the support and captain MG No Attack for the playoffs MVP and the finals MVP, their 80 carry, Desirus.
0-16 who? 0-16 what? Not the Guardians this split, fellas. They did so well. They had such a great split. So I again, another storyline we get to see wrapping up here where it's last split the Phantoms had their time to break their curse. They got into playoffs, but Guardians made one hell of a run coming in. I'm so proud of them. So proud to see that team making its way through. And of course, No Tuck and Desirus getting those playoff and finals MVP played out of their minds, and they deserve that. But if you're ready, Beanie, we can bring up the All-Stars for the overall LRS Draft League next.
I like this. I like this part a lot. All right. The All-Stars for LRS Draft. In the top lane from Wizards, Conjured Raven. I had the personal pleasure of playing in LRS Pre-Made with him, and I can say that this is one of the most versatile, one of the best mentals of any top laner that I've ever seen. I mean, his champion pool, he can play whatever, he can pick it up and play it at a more than acceptable rate. I mean, willing to play damn near anything for his team. Just really, really great player, really fun to play with as well. And the jungler from Outlaws, Zhao PP88. We also saw him in the LRS pre-made finals on Oasis Cloud over with his friend in the mid lane, Sergeant Hades, who also had the pleasure of making All-Stars. And then the bot lane, the playoff and final MVPs, Decerus from the Guardians, AD Carry, and the support, MG No Attack.
That's four names that we already have been through tonight.
Yeah.
Again, that's what we're seeing, these overlaps, these players who have clearly made their mark here. And of course, Conjured Raven joining them up top for this time around. But this is, this would be one insane team to go up against. And it makes sense though, right? You have two finalists, you have two people who won finals, technically four finalists if you're going to look at it that way. And then of course, another great jungler joining them there who made it into quarterfinals. But this is a strong team here and a lot of strong players. So congratulations to all our All-Stars here for the LRS draft for this fall 2021. But Bpots, thoughts from you on some of these players that we're seeing?
In full honesty, I do not know much about the LRS scene, but I know Raven and Hades are very strong. I haven't seen much out of Xiao PP, but Decerus and No Attack, I know personally are strong players. I've got to play some league games against them in the past few splits, and I know No Attack is probably one of the strongest supports I've played against. I got to play against his Lux and his Seraphine, which were both terrorizing. But well deserved to all of the All-Stars in draft.
Well, let's wrap this league up by showing off our champions here. So we'll get that on stream for you right now.
Oh wait, is this the right one? I thought Wizards won.
Nope, Guardians won.
Guardians won. Guardians won this.
I'm kidding.
No, this was it. This was their make or break moment. They made it all the way. Guardians, they break the curse and they come in as our champions. I believe this was another 5-game finals though that came in. It was huge to watch.
Yeah, I mean honestly, props to the Guardians. I mean, they went from losing to Guardians, losing to Wizards in the semis, was it? Yeah. They lost the semis, met them in the finals, and said, all right, you're not winning this time. We're going to win. Top lane, Kadelude, great player. Jungler, Dardock Fanboy 69, he's made appearances prior. He played for the winning team and LRS pre-made 2 splits ago, Rising Tide Reapers? If my memory serves me correct.
Tsunami?
Was it?
RTT?
I don't know. The Rising Tide names confuse me, but mid lane, scripting Xerath. I don't know why you guys use the old Nunu, but it looks really funny, so I like
because they won championships and scripting Xerath wanted that icon. So you know what? They deserved it. They deserve it. If that's what they want, then heck yeah. Why not?
He does. I really like that. And Decerus and MG No Attack in the bot lane. Really, really good squad. Props to No Attack for drafting an amazing team from the support position. I know we often see captains in the mid lane or jungle or AD carry role, but I mean, as a support, you come out with this draft, you're a very happy person. And you know what? It served them right because they won the whole thing. So congratulations. Great draft, great players. I'm sure you guys had a complete blast playing. I haven't had the pleasure of talking to these people, but they all seemed like, just from texting alone, they all sound like really fun people to play with. So
yes, congratulations to our LAS draft champions. You will have your names up in LRS draft Jeez. Well, LAS draft is for later. LAS draft, we're saving that for last because they were the last ones to finish. But LRS draft champions, you're going to have your names up in the Hall of Champions by the end of the night. So congratulations, guys, on your win. But a couple more leagues. We're getting there. We're trucking along here. But Beanie, thank you so much for joining us here for our few leagues here. I know you knew a lot of these players here. You've gotten to
Yeah.
say you've played with some of them too.
Yeah.
And it was a blast having you here, buddy. But guys,
Yeah.
any closing thoughts about what we've talked about so far tonight?
Uh,
I'll go first since I'm leaving quicker. But I mean, congratulations to all these players. I mean, every single one of them is 100% deserving of the award. I don't know if I would have picked anyone different, but the votes came in, deserved for everyone. Congratulations to the winners, of course. But to everyone else, congrats for your awards, and we hope to see you in future Legends splits. So
Yeah,
Absolutely.
especially this split as well. I think both in draft and pre-made, it's the most, or sorry, not draft or pre-made, but LAS and LRS, we've had the most number of teams in each league. Draft for LRS was a bit underwhelming with 6 teams, but still we were able to see some really high quality League of Legends and some really good playoff series as well. So congratulations to anyone who either won the league or got voted into one of the All-Star or MVP positions.
Absolutely. And with that, Beanie, we shall bid you adieu. But B Pots and I are gonna keep on rolling through here.
all right,
You take
have a good
care.
night.
We'll see you around, Beanie. I'm looking forward to that super team.
Yeah,
I'll be
it's
sure.
really
Wink,
bro.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
All
Yeah.
right. Have a good night.
Take care, Beanie.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Alrighty, and just like that, back to us, but we'll have a couple more guests joining us throughout the night. B-Pots, next, you're like a magician when it comes to transitions, because you're just talking about quality, some high quality League of Legends, and the next league that we have up is the highest quality League of Legends that we have to offer here at Legends. It's the LTS Pre-Made League. These are the guys sitting high diamond minimum. We have players in Masters, a couple in Grandmasters as well too. I'm talking, you go look at their OPGGs and these guys are ranked 500. These teams are absolutely insane. Obviously, there are a few new names that I myself am familiar with, and some that are very, very new to me. But we'll bring you all those names in just a few short moments. B-Pots, do you want to announce the... Oh,
Yeah.
I leaked it. But it's okay, because we're going to show it in 2 seconds anyways. If you want to do the MVPs for LTS, why don't we go ahead and officially show it here on stream?
Yeah, for sure. I'm on a tiny bit of delay, so I just have to wait for myself to catch up. But the finals MVP is I'm Rob, and then the playoffs MVP was Wake OG from Nightless Esports, and Sir Zepra from Nightless was this season MVP as well.
Love seeing this, though. I'm Rob. I believe this was the first time we got to see them with Gang 7 Mirage, formerly known as Mad City, who won it all this past summer. Those were our champions from the last split. But, seeing Nightless Esports entering their first team into LTS, this was their first time making a run at it, getting all the way to finals, and then, of course, having some very, very good players that are standing out here. That's great stuff to see, and I love seeing that. So I'm hoping to see some more of Nightless come back and see if they can get their revenge on Gang 7 here, because that is such a strong team. But lots of great players here, and congratulations to all our MVPs. Just I believe, yeah, I'm Rob is an ADC. Same with Wake OG, and Sir Zepre is a mid laner. So a little different to see more ADCs in the MVP position, but clearly there is that unique case that brings ADCs to that light if they are absolutely cracked. So
Yeah.
it's not right. So far tonight, we've seen mid laners, we've seen top laners mostly taking those spots. But to have an ADC there clearly shows that they were a step above the rest. And at that level of League of Legends, the micro that these guys have on ADC champions is ridiculous. So that clearly speaks volumes seeing those names come up.
Yeah, for sure. I think that AD carry is one of the most impactful roles in competitive play. Not necessarily solo queue, but competitive play for sure. And when you get up to these higher tiers of elo where teams know to more play around their AD carries than you would in like lower elo or in solo queue, I think that a lot of the strength, or a large percent of the strength of a team comes from how strong your AD carry is. I think that's just backed up by seeing two of them named your finals and your playoffs MVP as well.
A good chuckle on the Twitch chat there. It is broken. It is broken when it's played right. And like you said, B-Pots, in competitive, if you have a team that can play around something that's so broken and make sure that key, it almost, it's like we've gone full circle on League of Legends now, where we're back to Season 5 and it's protect the ADC comps. But if it works, you know, if we're at that point again where ADCs are getting that dominating role and everyone's picking up on that, then yeah, you keep your ADC safe, absolutely. But let's move it along and get to the LTS pre-made All-Stars. Have those up in just a second here. So notice something going across the board here is that in the top lane it's Heket Maskoff from Gang 7 Mirage. Jungler is Best Turtle OCE, also from Gang 7 Mirage. We have Sir Zepre from Nightless Esports, and then in the bot lane it's I'm Rob and Havoc BTW, also from Gang 7 Mirage. We're going to see it when we switch to the champion screen as well too in a few moments, but Gang 7 was an absolutely ridiculous team this split. Absolutely insane to see them play. I know they won 2 other leagues, one's escaping me, but I watched them win on RA, Runeterra Academy. This team was in a few other amateur leagues, and they did very, very well for themselves. So, also bringing that domination over to Legends here, the split was truly quite something. But of course, Nightless gave them a good run for their money there in finals. But yeah, Gang 7, man, very strong.
It was a good debut split by Nightless, but in the end, it was just not enough to take down Gang 7, and we're seeing that with 4 of the 5 All-Star slots being occupied by Gang 7 members.
Why don't we go ahead and bring up the champs screen next, because this is where we get to see all the Gang 7 members, and of course, to wrap up this LTS league is the champs. The ones who won it all in the end, it's Gang 7 Mirage walking away as our champions for the fall 2021 split, and of course a two-time champ, B-Pots. They won under the name of Mad City Mirage last summer split. They've been around in LTS for more than a few splits at this point, but this team is pretty deadly out there in terms of what we're looking at. I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these players pop up in the pro scouting ground scenes within the next year or two. That is the type of level of skill we're looking at here. But obviously, seeing them play together as Mad City from splits before, they've got some really good synergy. They're able to work together as a team, but at this level, this is where we see that confidence and that execution of plays such as split pushing, where players like Heket Maskoff can go off and do his thing, which I see that the splash art he's chosen, and I respect the hell out of it. Heket Maskoff, thank you so much for choosing Heimer. But yes, our LTS champions, Gang 7 Mirage, Heket Maskoff in the top lane, Best Turtle OC in the jungle, Steel City Warrior in the mid lane, I'm Rob as ADC along with Havoc BTW in the bot lane.
Yeah, the only question now is what name are they going to play under next split? What name Mirage are they going to play under? Regardless of what it is, I think that if these 5 decide to stick together and play again, they can possibly go for a three-peat on the championship. And it looks really good on your personal portfolios as well if you have so many championships in an assortment of leagues. And I think it'd be very beneficial for all of them to play together again, because as we've saw for the last 2 splits, this group of 5 people can compete for the top.
Before we do move on, I just want to address Havoc there in chat. I do see you. My sources told me base blitz, but before it goes up in the Hall of Champions, I will make sure to get the right one in there. So just shoot me a DM of what splash you want, and I will get that fixed up for you for when it goes permanently into the Hall of Champions. But that is our LTS champions and rounds out another one of our leagues. So I believe we've got two more already.
2 more. Yeah.
Moving along. I gave us a lot of time here. Planned a lot of time just in case, but it's better to be prepared than not.
Yes.
However, for this next one, as I do get set up for this next one, we're flipping things back around because we're heading back into the world of Valorant. Our Sunday night leagues are up next. Our Sunday day leagues. It was 3 p.m.
Sunday
EST.
afternoon.
Sometimes we win it tonight, depending on how many games we got. But Sunday leagues, this is one of the leagues I got to cast along with my boy Sashman. Sashman, Baldo mode, was there for the entire thing. So, in saying that, gotta type his name there first. In saying that, I'm sure he's out there watching, and we're gonna have Sashman joining us on the stream in just a few short moments. So if you are there and ready, bring it on. We'll bring Sashman on to the stream. We'll give him the ready, and then we'll have our my co-caster from this split. It's none other than Sashman. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's seems like it's been a great show so far. I've been watching along.
A lot of great names, a lot of great players, and Sash, you were there. You and I were both there on Sundays seeing. Oh, we got to see some stuff. These Valorant players were nuts, man. Oh, but
absolutely insane finals. Holy smokes.
Crazy finals. But yeah, give us a couple of your thoughts about how the overall league was.
The competition was insane. This is probably the best I've commentated personally or been alongside streaming. The players' skill level was just off the charts, and watching them battle it out game after game was just so much fun. And I had a blast.
Oh, yeah, a lot of great players, a lot of great teams. Again, one of our smaller leagues, but I don't think it left any gaps for entertainment content being made. That was such a good split. It was such a good split. And getting into the world of casting Valorant too, getting to see what some of these guys are capable of, and they got to be out there with calculators and rulers and everything, measuring out where the hell they're shooting off those recon bolts and stuff like that. It's actually ridiculous. But we'll get into this one, which is our LRS Valorant MVP. So Sash, when you are ready, I'll get those up on stream so you can read them out for us.
All right. Well, it takes a little sec because I'm on a little bit of a delay myself, but it looks like our finals MVP is Prodigy J4.
Yep.
From Fake Flashers. Or wait, Final Flashers.
Fake Flashers.
Fake Flashers. That's what it was.
Yep. Prodigy
and then,
was.
Yeah.
Prodigy's
bonkers.
Performance that day was insane in finals. We saw, those first two games out of Wash, they were looking pretty good back and forth, and then all of a sudden Prodigy just turned it on there in that third game, and oh my goodness. Oh my god.
He was monumental in their comeback to in their comeback to take it all.
Reverse sweeps, baby. That was the full 5 that went the reverse sweep, which is insane to get.
Yeah. It was like a reverse sweep in terms of not only did they slowly start to come back, but they finished dominantly in that finals game.
Oh,
what a finish.
One of the most dominating finishes I've seen. But anyways, go ahead for us, Baldo.
And then for playoffs MVP, we have also on Fake Flashers, Jaco, another excellent player who we saw shine a lot of times during the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely had their moment there in finals. But it was throughout the entire playoffs that Jaco was consistently sitting top there of Econ, in frags, just at the top of the leaderboards at the end of every single game there. And that's a huge part of why the Fake Flashers made all the way to finals and why they did so well in finals. So a huge part of that Fake Flashers team, FF Jaco.
Oh, yeah. And last but not least, we have definitely not least, is our season MVP. You're dead on PvE Esports. Probably one of my favorite players to watch because no matter what you do, as soon as you put the screen on him, he's making a play that's gonna effectively help his team get closer to winning the round, no matter what it is. He has some great lineups as Brim, and consistent playmaker throughout every game I've seen him play.
Yeah, your dad's been been with Legends Valorant for over a year now. It would have been a year at the start of this fall split. So yeah, love to see that name still popping up. You're dead, definitely all over the leaderboard there in terms of stats. So it was huge throughout the regular season. And yeah, that is our MVPs for this fall 2021 LRS Valorant League. But when you're ready, Sasha, I'm going to get the All-Stars up next. So again, this would be a team, if we could pick the best of the best from the teams we saw here, the split, this would be our super team coming up next. So when you're ready.
Well, up first, we have Diro from Team Washed, another excellent player who we got to see shine a bunch of times throughout that final series that we had there. And then we also have You're Dead, once again, our season MVP there, followed up by Jaco from Fake Flashers, as well as Taco from Fake Flashers, two of our finalists who, well, they were finalists for a reason. They put in that work, and they were great, not only as individual players, but as team players as well. And last but not least, we have Nemo from PvE as well.
Some big names coming up there too. Yeah, you mentioned Darrow on Team Wash, our previous champions from the summer split, where when he was on Stream N, or when Darrow was playing, oh my god, absolutely ridiculous threat coming out. We're talking about You're Dead already too. Again, I believe he's been on the All-Stars for a couple splits now, but we get to see some new names coming in. Those are our champions from the Fake Flashers, FF Jaco and FF Taco, which Jaco, again, consistently top in frags throughout his games, but Taco kind of stood out to me because they were the one more behind the scenes for the team. They didn't always make the big flashy plays, but they were there getting the spikes, getting the defuses, kind of being the one, or maybe the voice behind the team of what was going on. So love to see that Taco's up there as well too. And then Nemo showed up to us and really stood out because that was the leader for First Bloods across the league. So you mentioned too, having those entry frags coming in, that's what you want from a big player, and that's what Nemo was able to get done this split.
Yeah, these players all definitely deserve a spot on here. Playing against a team made of these guys would be terrifying, that's for sure.
It would be ridiculous to go up against these guys, but all of them played amazing. All of them deserve this All-Star, so congratulations to our All-Star team here. But we're almost ready to flip it on over to our final graphic here, which is of course to celebrate our champions of this split. And of course we've already mentioned it a couple times tonight, Baldo, which is this best of 5 went the full 5 reverse sweep 2, their first ever split in Legends Valorant. Transition Fake Flashers.
Incredible. Like, what that I still have very few words, like truly comprehensible words for this finals that we had, from absolute domination by Wash early on in those first 2 games to a really solid slow comeback in that third game, and then just over time Fake Flashers managed to show that they can establish dominance and that they were in the finals for a reason. They just needed those games to kind of figure out how Wash play, and like, holy smokes, this is some of the best Valorant I've watched in a long time.
That was such a fun split to cast, and leading up to this, I honestly, there was obviously a couple things that happened there during the season with teams and such, but seeing Fake Flashers taking down the reigning champs there and closing off on a game that is probably the most dominant game of Valorant I've seen straight up ever. They won it off with a big win. So congratulations to our fall 2021 LRS Valorant champions. You guys played a hell of a series. You guys played a hell of a split. So definitely deserved that one. I do just want to toss out a special mention for I believe it was from Prodigy, who nominated Diploctimus for the most handsome of this split. So I will just remember to shout out Diplo for most handsome this split. It was only one vote, but it was the most important vote. It was from Prodigy.
100% of the vote.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, crazy split we got to see, boys. But thoughts about some of these LRS Valorant players or teams that were here throughout the split?
Just phenomenal play all together. I really can't wait for the next split because some of these teams are coming back. We have some 2-time winners just waiting to try to fight for that title back from Fake Flasher. So I really hope they return to defend it because that's gonna be one spicy split coming up.
I've got
I mean, sorry to cut you off. I haven't been. I'm not really a big fan of Valorant, but the moments I have watched, both just from people's gameplay clips and just tuning into the stream once in a while, it's certainly LRS Valorant has made me want to sort of keep up with the professional Valorant scene just as a whole, and I'll certainly be tuning into both the LAS and LRS Valorant stream for next split.
That's a great point too to think about. This game's only been out for a year and a bit at this point.
Yeah.
So the pro scene's been growing quite a bit. I know I'm repping a little bit of Sentinel's pride at this point because it's nice to see NA actually making a pretty big step up into this esport. But just to see the amateur scene evolving over this past year and the fact that we've got people at this level, I think we're going to be seeing some even stronger players coming through for LRS Valorant next split because may or may not put the option on the table of bringing in that one step above Immortals, which would be making competition even more spicy.
Okay.
Again, no confirmation, but
Wink, wink.
the idea is out there. The discussions have been had, and again, seeing how those players would fare in this split or fare in this league. Oh man, that would be. I think I'm just more excited because if I do end up casting LRS Valorant and seeing people play this game that good, knowing myself that I am probably the worst Valorant player out there, it's cool to see. It's cool. It's really cool seeing them. But Sashman, any final thoughts before we send you off for the night?
No, it's an honor to always casting with you, Gurf. Nice to finally cast with you, B-Pots. I hope y'all have had a great split. I know I did. I hope you guys have a great holiday season, and I'll see you in the next split.
I'll see you tomorrow, Sashman.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. But yeah.
Anyways, take care, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts about this LRS Valorant League. It was a pleasure having you on the cast with us.
Of course, anytime, man. I'll catch you guys around.
See you soon.
See you later.
All right. And now with a click of a button, we're down to this. But we do have one final guest joining us for our final league in B-Pots. This is the league. It's the league, man. I don't know what else to say about LAS Draft. It was the first ever league it's our starting league here for Legends. It was our first one. I've been involved with it since its very start, April 2019. So I'm glad to see it still going strong. I'm glad to see the banter that still exists. The flame, don't let the flame die out, is what people continue to bring on. But there's been lots of great players coming through. I love seeing some new faces, and I love seeing some old guards still sticking around to hold on to those titles. But
This was my first actual full LAS draft split, and it's one of the most fun teams I've been on. I know I had a lot of concerns as a captain about the personalities I was going to draft. I could care less about the players that I actually drafted, but just as people showing up and playing games with them. And I'm glad to say that my expectations were more than met with the team that I personally got to draft, and I think a lot of the teams can say the same.
well, joining us for this LAS draft segment is none other than one of the Panthers players coming on in here, Sasuke. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're having some fun, getting to see some big names, getting to celebrate a few of these big players. And I'm sure you're ready.
This one will be very fun.
So when we're ready, Sasu, and when you're ready to go and announce these names, I can flick that switch and we'll bring up our first starting with the MVPs for the LAS Draft League, which love seeing these names up. I'm very excited to show these ones, but Sasu, when you're ready, let us know and take us away.
All right, just a moment.
Technologying for a second. Clicking some buttons, making some things work, but yeah, no, I love the LAS draft. It was honestly such a crazy split at the end there. The run the Grizzlies made, and the fact that we got to see what I would call a bit of an underdog win coming in here. I had my expectations on Nocturnals to take it there, based on how they performed in semis, based on how they performed all through the split. And then Grizzlies, see, it's even choking me up now. Grizzlies come out of nowhere and sidewind them. Absolutely sidewind them. But it made for such a good finals. And there are a few players on there too that's have been around the league for quite some time. So I'm glad to see these guys picking up some championships for themselves. But starting with MVP, Sasu, when you're ready.
All right, rookie of the split here goes to La Chupa Kogma.
Yeah.
And I actually played with La Chupa quite a bit. She was on Start Gaming with us, which was pretty fun. But up next on Most Improved is Ezio Killer, actually captain of the Rhinos, also my roommate. And then season MVP, no surprise, it's gonna be a Renji. Had those carry top lane performances. Man would have absurd amount of kills. And then our playoffs MVP goes to Karthik 002, who he's just a all-around great player, to be honest. And then finals MVP, also Karthik 002, really showed up in those final games, really just rolled over the other team.
I'm loving these names that are up here. And then I'll kind of go from front to back, or back to front here. Karthik. That name has been here for quite some time here at Legends. I've called him the enabler before, but I think he took a step right past that this split, especially so in playoffs, which was kind of being that one of those leaders to take the Grizzlies through quarters to semis and into finals there. And we saw in finals, once he busted out that Viego, which is one of his specialty picks, oh man, Karthik was doing some stuff out there.
Karthik's Viego and just Karthik in general still haunts my dreams. After that final series, he absolutely destroyed us, and I think that nobody else is deserving of playoffs or finals MVP. Draft is one of those leagues where, you know, you're picking up, I don't want to say random players, but you don't have as much time to develop synergy as you would in like a pre-made league. And so having someone on your team like Karthik, who's A, very mechanically skilled in his position, but B, as a jungler who is someone that can enable all of your lanes, that can like get over sort of that synergy barrier, is something that's very valuable, and I think is a real reason why the Grizzlies made the run they did to win the split.
You got you old orange man there as our season MVP, and I think, you know what, Orenji is another, he has been so dominant in the top lane for quite some time now. You give the guy Gwen. No. It's scary. Oh, it gets scary out there in the top lane. So, you know, Renji did play, I would say in finals he did play very well, but unfortunately as a team, that's where it needs to come together. However, individually as a player, as the overall season MVP, I think, you know what, he plays out of his mind. He does extremely well. We saw it throughout the regular season and carrying into playoffs too, so I think deservedly so. But most improved, Ezio Killer, been around for quite some time. I think it was last winter. It was one of our first winter splits that Ezio actually joined us here at Legends. But I love seeing the fact there's always room for improvement. And Ezio clearly taken some leaps this split to improve. But Love seeing this. Love seeing this. So happy for all our winners. So proud of everybody here. But yeah, Chupacogma is making her debut split. Well, I mean that makes sense, rookie of the split. But I love seeing that. I love seeing that some new faces coming around and picking up these awards. But All Stars is next, and I know there's been lots of buzz here for the LAS Draft All Stars. So when you're ready, Sasu, we'll flip it on over to that. And we'll announce our superstar team for the LAS draft.
All right, the All Stars is pretty big too. We'll start off in the top lane with Orange Man himself, Orenji. And then we will move to the jungle with Cheezus, who had some pretty dominant performances. Pretty good on that volley bear. Few games I've seen it. Then in the mid lane we have Defoe, who personally rolled me over in the first week of LAS draft. Congrats to him. And then bot lane we have Beanie, who had very good performances just about every game. And then in support we have
Whose name is that there? Whose name is that there? Wait a minute. I know that name. B-Pots. Oh, that's awesome. All-Star team is looking pretty strong, fellas. What do you guys think about potentially if you had to play against this team? Well, I mean, B-Pots, you'd be on the team. We'd be playing against you. But Sasu, overall thoughts about this team?
It's super strong. Defoe personally was my personal pick, in my opinion, in mid lane. He was just very consistent each game. And I didn't play against Cheezus that much, but from what I heard from Ezio Killer, he's a very, very good jungler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jesus definitely one of those bigger names in the jungle that we've seen. Defoe is definitely a good point to bring up too, because Defoe's been around for a while and he was definitely known for his brand. Definitely one trick when he entered the league, but no longer anymore. And I'm sure Sasu, you got to see a few picks that came out from Defoe, which that champ pool of his is expanded, and the skill that he's bringing with it, like his LeBlanc pick that he uses. It's really, really good. It has been really, really good. So I love to see that Defoe's been making a name for himself too. And the fact that, you know, they were able to take down the Scorpions in quarterfinals there like that, which, you know, coming in as the 6th place seed wasn't looking too likely, but they pulled it off, and Defoe is definitely a big reason for that.
Yeah.
I think a lot toward the end, they just started to grow more and more synergy. So they started to play a lot better toward the end of the season, in my opinion.
We got our boy Beanie down there too. I think we're all familiar with Beanie. B-Pots, thoughts on Beanie?
I'm quite familiar with Beanie. I've played both with him and against him on our respective teams. But yeah, I think he was by far and away, maybe not far and away, but he was, in my opinion, the best AD carry in the league. You can make a case for Omni-Man, you can make a case for Chupacogma as well, but Beanie was the AD carry and the best performer on his Sharks team, and he carried that team to first place in the regular season, so I think more than deserving. I'm surprised to see in these votes that no Grizzlies members are on the All-Star roster at all, but I think that coming into the playoffs, 4th seed, I think it's fair to see that, you know, maybe none of these Grizzlies players got voted. I mean, in retrospect, I think that the Grizzlies definitely showed up in playoffs, but yeah, I think a lot of these selections are well warranted. I think the Port one was a little skewed. I don't know. I personally don't think I should have won. You know, Beanie and Ultra, the best 2v2 in the lane. People like Ravenous Veracity and Torchy definitely showed up, and I mean, like, LCS Lock won the finals, but yeah, I'm glad to be on this roster. And, congratulations to all the other MVPs as well.
And congratulations to you, B Pots. Honestly, from what I saw, especially in your semifinals game there, the rotations from that Amumu, again, if you're able to be that roaming support and influence multiple lanes as support, that to me, that's what stands out to me. So congratulations to you, buddy. And of course, congratulations to all our All-Stars. But one final graphic of the night, my friends. And it is none other than the ones who took it home, the ones who claimed the championship here for fall 2021. The underdogs. Technically not K9s, but the under Ursas? I don't know. Let's flip it on over. Our LAS draft fall champions, the Grizzlies.
Wait, it's not Sharks? I thought Sharks were supposed to.
You would have thought, but no. No. Grizzlies, they made such a good run, though. You got to give props to them. Overcoming the Hounds, I believe that game went 4 or 5 in that series, which was insane because I thought, honestly, looking at those teams, they were pretty evenly matched going in, but Grizzlies, after that first game, I believe the Hounds took the first one, and then Grizzlies ran 3 straight. They were looking pretty strong, and the fact that they 3-1 Sharks the next week, that I think was kind of their standout moment to be like, okay, this is a team that can contest for that championship, that can give Nocturnals a run for their money. And I don't think a lot of us kind of realized that until it was happening on stream. It's like, oh, okay, Grizzlies are here to play. But you see these players, I believe it was Locke's first time in the split. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well.
Yeah, but for the rest of these players, Hitstick, Karthus, Kumi, and Stone Kit Kat have all been playing in the LAS draft for multiple splits now. So seeing that perseverance finally come through and them securing their championship, that's awesome stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when we were placing our bets, even going into playoffs, I know the regular season, nobody really had Grizzlies as that high, maybe like a middle of the pack team. They finished 4th in regular season, but the run they made on playoffs to, I believe, 2 3-1s and a 3-0 in the final was, I mean, it was good to see them win their first 2 series, but then their last series I kind of hoped played out a little bit different. But if there was one team and one player I'd like to lose to, I think it'd be Karthik and the Grizzlies for sure.
Any final thoughts there, Sasu, about this Grizzlies team?
I really want to highlight the Kumi in the mid lane because that man is very underappreciated. That Azir is so disgusting to play against.
It is.
He gets fed early on a late game champion. I don't understand it. But yeah, that Stone K-Cat's always solid down in the bot lane. This team was like the definition of momentum. They kind of just won that first series and just carried it over to each and every other series.
Yeah, they played so well, especially just pulling it together in finals. That's where it all counts, when you're getting together. It's playoffs. Once you're in playoffs, okay, how can we become a stronger team there? And I think the Grizzlies definitely got that down pat. So congratulations to them on their win. Your names will be hung in the Hall of Champions for forever. So that does actually, in fact, conclude our show tonight, gentlemen. That's all 7 leagues, 7 sets of MVPs, 7 sets of All-Stars, and 7 championship teams at the end of it all. But another split in the books here for Legends, and I'm just happy to say we're all the way through now. And a new year is coming. Lots of new stuff is coming to Legends, so do keep an eye out on that. Registration will be opening sometime in early December, so if you want to stay up to date with that, just make sure to head on over to our Discord if you aren't already, and you can find that by putting command Discord into the Twitch chat, wherever it is, depending on which viewer you're watching it on here. But that'll be up in December. Again, we are planning on having 7 leagues once again, very similar format to what we've run in the past, but we're revisiting some stuff, making some changes, updating some things too. We make some plans to bring some new stuff to the production world as well too in terms of content. So we want to make sure to put on a good split for you guys again. So our exec team is extremely hard at work right now and getting stuff planned. I can tell you guys, I've seen a lot of cool stuff coming, and I'm really, really, really excited for it. But you'll have to wait and find out soon, as we do gear up and plan to start our winter split this January. So keep an eye out for registration. Same thing goes for anybody who's interested in applying to be a part of staff or production. Those will be coming out relatively soon as well too. But we got lots. There's lots going on behind the scenes, guys, and I'm very excited for this next winter split. Anyways, final closing comments before we finish our final stream for this fall split.
Yeah, just once again, congratulations to all of our MVPs, All-Stars, other award winners tonight. The level of competition in all of our leagues is increasing. The number of teams, number of players is increasing as well. So to be able to stand out in such a large pool is very good to see. But yeah, other than that, thank you for having me.
Of course. And Sasu, thank you so much for joining as well. Appreciate you coming on to the stream and helping us close things out.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, big thank you to Sashman and Beanie for joining us here earlier tonight. And of course, to all you lovely, lovely players, coaches, organizations out there that make all this exciting stuff happen. We couldn't do it without you. Of course, our staff team as well too. Anybody from stats to rosters, from mods to admins, executives, producers, casters. Thank you, everybody who had a part to play in this split. You guys were amazing. We're so happy to have you around here and be a part of the Legends team. Who am I forgetting here? Who am I forgetting? Our Twitch viewers. Yes, everybody who's following the channel and who's watching right now. I've seen this channel grow from 21 followers to 2,100 followers, and it blows my mind because the stream is kind of like my baby, and I'm so happy to see it growing up. You guys make me so happy here. So again, appreciate you guys so much for being here and supporting us here at Legends. Really, you have no idea how much it means to me. But with that being said, I will bid you all adieu until next split, until we're back here on the Legends desk again, bringing you all that fun action. Again, keep an eye on our Discord for registration this winter, coming out sometime early December. And we will see you around very soon. Enjoy your holiday break. I know I will be. But with that, guys, I bid you adieu. Hope you all stay safe and healthy. Enjoy your break. Enjoy your time off. And we'll see you all in the new year. Good night, guys.